If you're thinking about incorporating a Singapore company, here's something critical you need to know. Every Singapore company must have a company secretary within 6 months of incorporation. Missing this deadline could mean facing serious penalties. But here's what most entrepreneurs don't realize. A company secretary isn't just about checking a legal box. They are your compliance partner who keeps your business running smoothly. Hi, I'm Jeffrey from Statrys, and today I'll explain everything you need to know about what a Singapore company secretary is and what they do. Let's get started. First, let's clear up a common misconception. A company secretary in Singapore is not an administrative assistant or office secretary. This is a statutory position under Singapore's Companies Act. They are legal officers with specific responsibilities and qualifications. Think of your company secretary as the caretaker of your company's legal health. While the name company secretary might suggest basic administrative work, the role actually involves managing complex compliance requirements, preparing legally binding documents, and ensuring the company maintains its good standing with Singapore authorities. Under Singapore law, this isn't optional, it's mandatory. Every company must appoint a company secretary within 6 months of incorporation, and company directors are personally liable if this doesn't happen. Here are the key legal requirements for appointing a company secretary in Singapore. Number 1, residency requirements. Your company secretary must be ordinarily resident in Singapore. This means that they must be a Singapore citizen, a permanent resident, or hold a valid work pass like an employment pass. If you work with a professional services firm, they will typically assign a qualified staff member who meets this residency requirement to serve as your official company secretary. Number 2, individual requirement. The secretary must be a natural person, meaning an individual and not a corporate entity. However, here's an important clarification for entrepreneurs. While you cannot appoint another company as your secretary, you can absolutely engage a corporate service provider who designates a qualified individual on their team as your named company secretary. Number 3, director restrictions. Here's where it gets specific. If your company has only one director, that sole director cannot also be the company secretary. But if you have multiple directors, one of them can serve as the secretary. In practice, many small and medium enterprises appoint an external professional to avoid conflicts and ensure proper checks and balances. Number 4, qualification requirements. For private limited companies, which most entrepreneurs establish, you can appoint any suitable individual who meets the residency requirement. Here's the reality for small businesses. Most SMEs in Singapore do not hire a full-time in-house company secretary. Instead, they contract professional firms specializing in company secretarial services. This is completely legal, widely practiced, and considered best practice among startups and SMEs. One final thing to keep in mind: the appointment timeline. You have exactly 6 months from your incorporation date to make this appointment. Missing the deadline may lead to penalties and legal complications. Here's where working with professional service providers can ease compliance burdens by helping you track deadlines and handle all statutory filings on time. Now let's talk about what your company secretary actually does for your business on a day-to-day basis. They maintain what's called the company registry, which is essentially the master document that records all your company's critical details. This includes who your shareholders are, the number and value of shares, your company address, incorporation date, financial year end, jurisdiction, and the nature of business. While these might seem like technical details, they are legally required documentation that Singapore's corporate regulator, the Accounting and Corporate Regulatory Authority, needs to have on file. They are responsible for annual compliance requirements. 2 critical annual tasks fall to your company secretary. First, they must organize and conduct your annual general meeting, or AGM. And second, they must file your annual returns with ACRA. These aren't optional, they're mandatory requirements that keep your company in good standing. They take care of change management. Throughout the year, when your company undergoes changes such as share allotments, changes in company's details, or director appointments, your secretary handles the entire process. They prepare what's called a resolution, which is an official document that requires all directors to sign off and approve the changes. Once signed and stamped, this becomes legally binding. Then they update ACRA with these changes to keep your official records current. Finally, they monitor compliance. This means that they monitor statutory deadlines and remind you of upcoming requirements, such as those mentioned before. This proactive monitoring prevents costly penalties and keeps your company in good standing. Here's something important to know. What company secretaries don't do is make business decisions for you. They're compliance experts, not business managers. Their role is to ensure your company operates within Singapore's legal framework while you focus on strategy and growth. Let's be clear about what happens if you don't properly manage your company secretary requirements. First, immediate penalties. Failing to appoint a company secretary within 6 months results in automatic fines. Directors are personally liable for these penalties, which can escalate quickly if not addressed. Second, ongoing compliance risks. Without proper secretarial support, you risk missing critical filing deadlines. Each missed deadline triggers additional penalties, and accumulated violations can seriously impact your company's standing. Third, business disruption. Compliance issues can disrupt your business operations. Banks and business partners may require proof of good standing, which becomes complicated if your company has compliance lapses. Fourth, operational paralysis. In severe cases, non-compliance can affect your ability to operate your business normally, open business accounts, or engage in certain transactions. Professional secretarial services mitigate all these risks by ensuring consistent and expert compliance management. The cost of professional services is always less than the cost of compliance failures. Here's your action plan for handling your Singapore company secretary requirements effectively. If you're incorporating, include company secretarial services in your incorporation planning. Many incorporation service providers offer bundled packages that include ongoing secretarial support, which can be more cost-effective than arranging services separately. If you're already incorporated, review your current arrangements. Are you confident your secretary is reliably handling all compliance requirements? If you're handling this internally, consider whether outsourcing might reduce the risk and free up your time for business development. Regarding the service selection process, get quotes from multiple providers and compare not just price, but service levels and reliability. Ask about their technology systems, backup procedures, and track record for deadline management. It's important to remember that this is an ongoing relationship, not a one-time service. Choose providers you're comfortable working with long-term, as they'll become familiar with your business and can provide better services over time. Your Singapore company secretary is much more than a legal requirement. They're your compliance partner who ensures your business operates smoothly within Singapore's regulatory framework. If you're considering setting up a company in Singapore, Statrys offers comprehensive services for foreign entrepreneurs, covering everything from incorporation to company secretary services. Our services include qualified company secretaries, ongoing compliance management, and business support, all managed through our online platform with dedicated account managers. For more information about Singapore company formation and ongoing compliance support, visit statrys.com. Have any questions? Reach out anytime via live chat on our website, WhatsApp, or email us at support@statrys.com. Thanks for watching.